I look naked, but I have a shirt on. I'm looking at my I'm looking at my screen. I'm like, girl. Hey guys, it's me Courtney and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about the new Shiseido foundation. This is the RevitalEssence Skin Glow Foundation. Has an SPF of 30. As you can see, this is the actual box that it comes in. I like to keep the boxes until I record so you guys can like see the whole shebang. But I have been trying this foundation out for at least 2 weeks now. As you guys know, I like to get the full idea, the full spectrum, wear it with different primers, blushes, contours, all that kind of stuff, so I can really get a feel for the foundation. Now this is what the actual bottle looks like, which I actually think it's a really unique package. Most of the Shiseido foundations come with like that black top, which is still very sleek, but I just think this one's a little bit more modern, more unique, you know what I mean? It does feel weighted and heavy, so it does feel luxurious as it should for Shiseido. Now this is your average 1 ounce, but it is gonna be $56 for that 1 ounce. Again, it is Shiseido. Shiseido is typically a more higher end brand, but they do typically use like skincare within their foundation, so I think it kind of ends up balancing itself out. At least that's the way that I justify things. It does come in 30 shades. I got the shade 420 Bronze. The reason I got that is I have at least 3 or 4 other Shiseido foundations. That's the color that typically works the best. Whether I'm tan or not, it's like my base color, if that makes sense. Online, it says it is a skincare active foundation that provides buildable medium coverage and visibly improves bare skin in 1 week, revealing healthy glowing skin. I've worn this for 2 weeks and I can't say if it's actually visibly improved my bare skin, because my skin typically is pretty decent. Like I do my nightly skincare and stuff like that, so I can't really test that theory. It is a medium coverage. It is a radiant finish. It does have fermented kefir, a prebiotic that fuels the ability to maintain a healthy microbiome. Okay, niacinamide, a form of vitamin B that visibly smooths and brightens skin, and makeup microcapsules suspended in skincare essence, which delivers skincare actives to the skin. Okay, but like that's just so extra for no reason. And as I did mention, it does have SPF 30. Usually when I do foundations with an SPF, I like to go a little bit darker with the shade. Sometimes SPFs can show up a little purpley, a little white, a little casty on my skin. With this one, I don't have too much of an issue, but I can't say that for all the shades. I just went ahead and got the bronze because that's what I usually get. And I feel like a good foundation shouldn't have to teeter too much. It shouldn't have a cast. Anyway, let's zoom in so we can do the face. So there is a specific way that I like to wear this foundation that works for me. I did try it with just a sponge, hated it. Not only did I hate it, but it kind of shears out the foundation to the point that it's like I kept trying to build with the sponge and it just felt like it wasn't building. I tried it with just the brush and it looked really good, but the combo for me is I'm gonna put it on with the brush all over, and then I'm gonna go in with the sponge and kind of tap off here and there where necessary. I am gonna be using my Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer. I typically like my foundations to be somewhere a little bit more moisture satiny matte. So I kind of play around with my powders and stuff to get that, and this is the kind of foundation that can kind of work with me in that regard. We're gonna shake it up. I like medium to full coverage, so I'm gonna use 4 pumps. And that's what it looks like. Very liquidy. I'm gonna go ahead and tap it on, and y'all might be like, that's a lot of foundation. I know. 4 pumps gives me the coverage that I'm looking for without the cake, and doing less just ends up looking sheer to me. So this is where we're at. It's melting off my face. Like I said, I'm gonna go in with a brush first. Such a pretty foundation. It blends out really nice, I think, with the brush. But you see what I mean about the color? I feel like this is a really good color. This is with foundation. This is without, kind of, sort of. You see the difference. You can see it underneath it. I've had coffee today, but that's it, I promise. Also, if you're curious about this eye makeup, I'm gonna have a video of that coming out soon as well. It's kind of a throwback palette, actually. Hey, so you guys remember that part where I said I was gonna go in with the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer? Remember that? I didn't do that. We're going on top of skincare today. If I have any footage of me wearing the Tatcha Silk Canvas Primer, I'm gonna show you guys that. And if I have any footage of me wearing the One Size Beauty, the Tacky Glowy Primer, I will show you that. But yeah, so the foundation is super hydrating. As you can see, my skin looks gorgeous. It does stick to the skin in this way where it may emphasize texture just a little bit, but usually my primers combat that. I got excited and forgot to use a primer. Now I'm gonna go in with a wet sponge, and I'm just gonna kind of tap off any excess. I don't know, I'm country, it sounds weird every time. I know a lot of people like the glow aspect of these kind of foundations, and it is very beautiful in theory and on camera and on pictures. But in real life, if I'm moving throughout the day, this makeup, just like this, is going to feel heavy. If I don't set it, if I don't do all the other extra things to it and I just let it be glowy or add more glow to it, and if I go outside in the heat, like, my face is going to melt and feel sticky. That is a personal thing for me. So I do like to sort of play with a little bit of powders and stuff to get it to that satiny matte situation so that I can have longevity out of it and it feel comfortable. I hope I explained that right. I'm gonna go around and just tap off a little tiny bit. Any of the parts that are gonna be way too sticky for me, when I do that, it kind of nullifies it. It sets everything in, doesn't take off a ton of product, just enough to kind of balance everything out. It looks gorgeous. That glow is really pretty, but it's a little bit more subtle than without the sponge, if that makes sense. Now, it is one of those situations where I feel this on my face at the beginning. As time goes on and as I put everything else on, it does get more comfortable. But right now, it is one of those things where it's a little sticky, little tacky. I'm gonna go ahead, finish the rest of my face, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at everything all together. Okay, so this is the final product and what the face is looking like. Everything is sitting comfortably. Like I said at the beginning, when you first put it on, it is a little bit more sticky feeling, a little bit more heavy. Right now it feels super duper comfortable. And again, this is without a primer, just on top of skincare, and it looks really, really good. If you have any like fine hairs or anything, this foundation does stick to it a little bit. Your powders will help it smooth out as well, but it's still going to kind of be a little bit of a nuisance. Not to the point that it actually affects my mood or affects the entirety of the makeup, but it is noticeable to me. This foundation doesn't really get into my creases, so that's good. For the record, it is now 209. We'll just wrap it and call it 210 just for continuity purposes, I guess. I don't know. We're gonna try to get a 6 to 8 hour wear test. I am gonna be just doing stuff around the house. I don't think I'm gonna go outside too much aside from walking my dog for a little bit. But yeah, so this is before. And I feel very pretty. And I will say that this foundation does help me feel pretty. I've been trying out a lot of foundations, and it's just, I think lately brands have been coming out with very similar foundations, the ones that are super duper glowy, the ones that kind of emphasize like glass skin and all of that. And I do like the idea, but as I was mentioning before, like, it's not my favorite just overall look. Not to mention the fact that a lot of the foundations are very sheer but still accentuate a lot of like pores and stuff like that for me. And I think it works for certain people, and a lot of times those certain people may have like perfect skin. I don't think I've seen a lot of these foundations over like textured skin or over maybe skin that might have a little bit more fine lines. Like, there's certain skin types that these brands are catering to in that way. A lot of foundations lately that I've been trying haven't been making me feel the prettiest, and this is one of them that just makes me feel good, you know? Anyway, all that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, and we will come back at the end of the day. All right, guys, I am back, and this is what my face is looking like. Aside from my lipstick completely wearing off, it is now 10:54. A little bit of oils here, a little bit around the nose. And the tip of the nose is kind of rubbed off a little bit. I don't know if you guys can tell that. And now that my oils are starting to peek through, I can feel this on my face a little bit, but it's not bothersome. It still feels pretty comfortable. But outside of that, everything else is still there. The blush, the bronzer, the contour. It did seep into the lines a little bit on this side a little more. But as far as it kind of sticking to the little hairs on my lip, it's not doing that as much. It's kind of softened. And it is one of those things that if I just grab like a powder or something and blotted, this makeup I feel like is still wearable for even longer if I wanted to. Earlier when I was actually putting my makeup on, I did scratch myself after it was already set, and it kind of took off a little bit of the makeup, but I was able to kind of blend it back with my finger. So this is a transferable situation. I can't really speak on if it does do like skincare properties after a week, but I can say that my skin looks healthy. I can say that with this foundation, like, it does give like a nice glow to the skin. I don't feel like my pores and everything are like being clogged, if that makes sense. My skin doesn't feel itchy. And outside of like the little bit of the creasing and the oils coming through on the nose specifically is where it's kind of separating, but everywhere else it still looks pretty decent. It really doesn't claim to do too much. I do love the fact that it has SPF in it, and I love the fact that it has an SPF without making the foundation ashy. I will go as far as to say this is one of my favorite recent foundations that have come out. The more I try foundations, especially the newer foundations, there's something about it sometimes that when I put it on my skin, it makes me feel like something's off with my makeup. Like there's been foundations where I feel like maybe it's the pores, maybe it's, you know what I mean? It's just something about it's not quite working. And for a while I was thinking that maybe like my makeup technique needed an update or whatever the case may be. But this is a situation that works really well with the way that I do my makeup, and it turns out really pretty every time I put it on. I feel beautiful. My skin looks nice and healthy. Feel like I'm ready to be on somebody's beach somewhere. But yeah, no, I really, really love this foundation. I do recommend it, albeit the price tag is literally $56 for a foundation. If you know you're cool with that, great. But yeah, it is on the pricier side for sure. I was going to tap off the oils a little bit, but if I'm being honest, I'm a dry skin girly, so I actually don't mind like the light glow that it's giving from underneath the powders, minus the nose coming off. Let me see if I have something I can. I'm gonna take my Laura Mercier and just do a little tap tap. I feel like that looks good as new, and it didn't really take a lot of me working anything together. It's just a small brush with a little bit of Laura Mercier, but you could definitely use any powder you could blot, and I feel like it would look really, really nice. I feel like this is a really good versatile foundation because it's giving me the face that I've been wanting for a while, that I'm craving from these new foundations, but the new foundations just aren't getting it. I do recommend this foundation if it is in your budget to do so, because that price tag is crazy. All right guys, that about does it for me. Hopefully this video was fun, entertaining, helpful. If so, please give me a thumbs up. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video if it's in your heart to do so, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.